Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and with this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Takara Tomy masterpiece. This is MP44S. This is their Optimus Prime figure, but the S is because it is in the toy deco. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to have a detailed look at the figure in both of his modes. We're going to have a look at the accessories that come with him, and of course how we can use all of them in whichever mode that they are suited for. Unfortunately, I don't have the original MP44, but I do obviously have a Generation 1 Optimus Prime figure, and funnily enough, some of the newer Missing Link ones as well. So we can see just, I suppose, how accurate the toy deco is on these. We can also bring in some other masterpiece figures from the same toy line, and indeed from other toy lines and third-party companies as well, to see how he displays. So loads to get through with this video. So before I open him up, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, and also to thank Robot Recruits, the online shop in the UK where I brought this from, because they got him to me nice, quickly and safely. So yes, this is my first foray into MP44. To be honest, MP44 in the UK is a ridiculous price. It always has been, and although I think it looks good, I just haven't been able to justify the price. This guy looks great. I think I prefer it because of the toy deco anyway, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that's Combiner Wars Megatron rather than the was it MP, is it the maybe it's the toy deco. It's the masterpiece toy deco, isn't it? Of course it is. There we go, corrected myself. There's all the things that are going to come inside it. So let's have a look at him. Now, I've got no idea if this guy's going to be in robot or in alternate mode. I've seen photos of this particular figure. I've obviously shown videos on my channel of photos of the figure, but I don't know how he's going to come. It is in alternate mode. There we go. Funnily enough, I had an MP10 as well, but I never transformed it. I was guilty of owning an MP10, just sort of putting it out on display and never really having a play with it. Now that, to me, looks stunning. And the first thing that you do notice about this, whereas I noticed instantly with Hoist, I mean, this is so light. This feels 3 or 4 times the weight of that, so I'm presuming that there is an abundance of die cast in this. What I need to do now to get rid of the glare and just to speed things up, just bear with me 2 seconds while I set him free from there. So I've set him free from the packaging, and as I said, definitely the biggest thing, or the first thing that I noticed straight away, having very recently just reviewed Hoist, is the weight in this particular cab. Also, there are rubber tires on this, whereas there wasn't on Hoist, and of course there's a big use of chrome as well. This thing looks amazing, it feels good, and I'm quite impressed overall, to be honest. I don't know if this is exactly as it should be in the alternate mode. As I say, my experience of the figure isn't I have no experience of MP44. I'm presuming it is, though, that they haven't just packaged in, like sometimes you get the figures in the normal deluxe boxes and they're not packaged in the correct transformation. We've got the instructions here as well. We've got a sticker sheet. Wow, that's a Generation 1 sticker sheet. Definitely there is a collector's card there, and I don't know if this is me or not, but these seem to be getting a little thinner. Maybe that's just me being overly pedantic, I'm not too sure. And then we've got a huge set of instructions here as well. There's also this stand. Again, I don't have any of these stands, so I can't unfortunately put him in his dynamic action poses. We've got a spare head. Now that looks like a Generation 1 Optimus Prime head. That looks brilliant. We've got an enormous G1 gun, which compared to the original toy, you can see the difference there is huge. And of course we've got a matrix, etc., and a blast effect, and indeed an axe. Now I do actually own MP1 still, and that's my masterpiece display Optimus Prime, which is huge, and we'll bring him in a second. What I want to do as well, though, of course, is this. I want to bring in the Generation 1 toy Optimus Prime, so I might need to lower this just very fractionally, and that's going to give you an idea of just how much bigger this masterpiece figure is. It is huge. They've got the colors down to a T. They've got the rubber tires, which is great. You've got the chrome on the inside of the wheels. We've got the large smokestacks, which is good. They are plastic as well. Do them wing mirrors come out? I don't know. I think we can open up and have a look inside. Let's have a look. I should have had a really good look at the instructions before I did this, but I love to do some first impressions exactly like what you see, and I want to be able to be exactly this. There is a seat in there. I think you can also tell that that's perhaps maybe going to be his arm. But as I was just saying, I want my first impressions to be exactly that, first impressions. If I've opened it up, looked at it, etc., you can bring the wing mirrors out. There we go. Then it's not first impressions. So it looks like you can open the doors. I don't know if there's much else. I'm wondering if the matrix maybe goes in the front, but if that's a faux chest or not, I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like that opens very well from there, so I'm not going to attempt it just in case I break it. You know, I know it's just a truck, there's not much to say about it. It's just good that we've got the chrome on the stacks, on the gas tanks, around the front. The detail on the grille is fantastic. We need a thrust figure, obviously reflecting inside there. With regards to other masterpiece figures, there's a Trailbreaker, so good scale wise there, I think. Definitely. With regards to some normal figures, and what I mean by that is just some run-of-the-mill, either Voyager class or deluxe class as they're known. This is huge compared to it. Again, not as big as MP1, but it is a nice big looking truck. Right, I think that's pretty much it, to be honest, to say about it. It definitely looks good, and I didn't expect it. I didn't expect anything less, to be honest. Oh, look, we've got a faux grill under there, so this hopefully isn't going to be too complicated. But what we're going to do, we're going to come right back, and he's going to be in his robot mode, which is where I'm 100% going to be displaying him, because it's all about the robot with Optimus Prime for me anyway. There we go, guys. Last very quick comparison with that. We're coming back in robot mode now. Okay, so I've typically just picked up the instructions ready to transform him into his robot mode, and I've noticed on there that there is a way that you can in fact store this blaster. So this ginormous blaster does this, which I wasn't aware of. It will fold completely into two like so. We can then fold this part up as well, and then if we spin it round, you can see you've got a large cutout there just on the side of the gun. You can just about make it out there. Now you can see it perfectly. And on the back of this, if you grab this blue part and lift it up ever so slightly, you can probably make out that that's that little tab there. Now we should be able to just slide this on. There we go, it goes on. Not too no real issues really, but it doesn't look the greatest. I suppose it's just a good way again of being able to store things. I believe the first use of this particular mold obviously had the trailer where you could store loads of the accessories, but with this we've just got the fact that we can store the gun on the back. So there we go. It's only right that I added this in. There it is. Right, let's get back to robot mode then. So we're back and he's in his robot mode, and I've got to confess straight off, this is really, really impressive. It looks, yeah, it looks as good as I suppose, not as I expected it to, but again, I'd heard a lot of people comment on just how good I suppose MP44 was. And again, I think I mentioned in a few other videos, I've just noticed this has come loose, that the price for him in the UK was insane. I mean, we're talking like £440, something like that. So if you convert that to dollars, we're talking, you know, 550, maybe a little bit more, to be honest. Yeah, maybe between $550 and $600, which is just, you know, I like my figures, I like that sort of stuff, but I could never justify that. Whereas this, with the fact that it's just the cab, it's great. It's stunning. It's so nice. I wouldn't say it's 100% obviously toy accurate deco, because the original toy never had the blue windows. Obviously it had sort of like it was like an orangey browny color. It was weird, to be honest. And yeah, this is one of my not so great conditioned Optimus Prime, and of course it didn't have, I suppose you put the stickers in on that, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying, that it's not 100% toy accurate, but it's still really, really good. Now, the transformation process, I've got to apologise, isn't on this particular video, and that is to keep the main length of the video down, but I would like to discuss it because it's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. What I'm going to do is spin this guy around as I'm talking about it, just to give you some shots of the figure, and then I'll start doing some comparisons and doing some articulation and stuff. You will notice that everything I would say in this is incredibly well tucked away. Don't get me wrong, other figures have done good jobs as well, like New Age has taken Optimus Prime, did a really good job as well. I just think it's weird because it perhaps is a bit overcomplicated. There perhaps is too many steps with it. But with this, at no point did I feel like I didn't want to do it or finish it. Whereas with other overcomplicated things like the Megatron Masterpiece, the Magic Square Megatron, and indeed pretty much most X-Transbots figures, I lose the will quite simply, and I just don't really want to complete the transformation. Whereas with this, it was long, it was time consuming, but it was still quite enjoyable, if that makes any sense. The figure itself though, the head sculpt, as we can see, is again spectacular. It'll spin all the way around, it'll look up and down. We can as well just separate the head, so we've got a more toon accurate, again we've got the blue eyes there, and this will just, in fact I'll show you that in a second, it will just slot off. This is what I mean about the windows. Of course the toys never had this, and they go down to the very little bit of detail. We'll look at the matrix chamber in a second, but I do want to show you, if I can get my finger in on this, that even the windows, as silly as this is going to sound, turn around. They rotate around. So what I'm trying to show you, and having no luck at all, is you'll see here, of course, on this side there's the windscreen wiper, and there is perhaps more, I know it looks a little darker color like the actual toy did. So even there's so many ridiculous details on it. So we've looked at the head sculpt, the shoulder, of course, no problem whatsoever. Again, a masterpiece figure. This is pretty much all what we're expecting. So you've got a swivel there at the top of the shoulder, you've got your bicep, double bicep, no it's not double bicep, it comes really far up though. You've got the bend there. These will move in and out as well, like on butterfly hinges. The waist, you can do the full ab crunch. You can slightly raise this here just off the back, just a little bit, to get you to, maybe not from the front, sorry, from the back. It's so stiff. And then you can get a full waist rotation. The hip skirts here will come up, so you can go right out to the side. You can hear them ratchets, same as the front. These will also come up. It moves with the entire unit part though. You see that there, the back skirts will come up as well, so you can easily do, if you wanted to, the full splits, no problems whatsoever. The knee's got a real bend in it, like a proper double. It'll go all the way back. He can kick his own bum with his heel if you really wanted him to. No issues with that whatsoever. The toes are really interesting because, of course, I thought this was going to be the front with it being the toy deco, but they ended up tucking that into the back with the heel sprue. It'll toe tap, rock forwards, it'll lean and twist to the side. It's basically as articulate as you're going to get, which again, you're going to be expecting that for the price point that it's at. The fingers, if I can show you here, I've got loads of it. I think there's at least two hinges. Yep, you can see where the little hinges are inside there. So you've got knuckles, and I think it's metacarpals. Maybe that might be the proper term, I'm not too sure. But either way, fingers and knuckles, that'll be the best word. Knuckles and the joints on the fingers there. So that's really, really good. The chrome is obviously popping as well, which looks fantastic. I think we need to look at, funnily enough, the matrix chamber. The matrix, I didn't really do much justice in the other parts of the videos. This is die cast, it's really heavy, and I think it looks really, really good. I've got to open this again now. I should have just left it open. The matrix chamber is great. It actually allows you, when you lift this up, you can bring this whole thing forward, see, so that'll come down to make it easy to get in and out of. You can also see inside there that that's where the front wheels ended up, which again, insane, absolutely insane. Right, let's get the matrix, let's attach it here, and let's close. Well, there you go, it attaches in there, no problem whatsoever. And then you can close it and push it back. Oh, what have I done? And push it back, there we go, into it, and it will clip into place, no problem whatsoever. I'm not going to fully close that because I'm probably going to open it up in a second. Right, let's close this and bring it. It will fully close though, just for people if they wanted to see that it did or didn't. Right, in fact, yeah, let's push it all the way in just so you can see that it does. There we go. And that will clip into place there. Typically now it's just popping open ever so slightly, but it does because I've had it in there before. Right, let me show you what was my masterpiece. This is much bigger. As I said, I did have MP10, but I sold him on. This is my MP1, which again is a huge figure. I know now everything's got a scale, etc. But this is the one that I've had on display pretty much since he came out. This one's impressed me that much that I am going to be keeping this. Whereas I said at the early part of the video, which I did, I sold my MP10 on. I just didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. To give you an idea of how big he is with some other Masterpiece figures, there he is with Soundwave. There he is with Hoist. So you can see, again, they're all supposed to scale, aren't they? So Hoist is that little bit smaller, but he's nowhere near, I've knocked him over, as small as Crosscut, which you can see there. Looks great. They do look good together, to be honest. Let me just move these out of the way now, just because I've got them close to hand as well. It's a different toy company, and they're completely different figures. But I have got Kang Toys take on Tantrum, the gold one. So that's how big it is next to a Kang Toys. And also still getting around to doing the review on this one, guys. Don't worry, it's coming up soon. This is their take on a Snarl figure. So yeah, as I said, I think pretty much most Masterpiece figures now are all sort of, what I mean by industry standard is they're all the same sort of size. Kang Toys I do tend to find are that little bit bigger, but granted, my knowledge on third-party Masterpiece isn't the greatest, I've got to confess with that. What I did want to say about this figure, though, I think it's more of like a Netflix Optimus Prime rather than a G1 Optimus Prime. We've got, of course, some other Optimus Primes that have been released very, very recently. Let me just bring this down and see what I'm doing wrong, because I can clearly see, same as you guys, that it's not lying flush. So maybe if I turn it around, because ironically enough, as I said, I did have a teeny little play just before, just to make sure I could do it. There we go. I just hadn't pushed it all the way in. That's all I needed to do. We've of course got the missing link convoys now as well. So these, you know, you can tell they're all brand new toys. They all look great together. Just for those of you wondering, that's the missing link axe, and this is the Masterpiece. You do have the color difference and the size difference as well. The size difference is huge. Let me bring over, in fact, let's show you the axe, because this is slightly new to me, how they adjust and how you change, I suppose, the things on the hands. What we've got here is you just slot it off like so, and you've got like a little C clip or grip there, where this is going to fit around that tab, and then it's going to slot in there, he says. It does. Again, I had a little go, made sure, especially with Masterpieces, as I like to have a teeny little go. Not the first impressions. The first impressions, I always want them to be exactly that. But for some things, especially some of the attaching some of the accessories, etc., I want to make sure that they do actually go where they're supposed to. So that's going to go in there. You can see how articulate that is. Oh, as he pulls it straight off, but it's got its own. In fact, let me show you what I've got. It's got its own swerve, it's, well, hinged part there, and of course you can see you can spin and turn this anywhere around at all, and the hand will then just clip on exactly like this. There you go. Now the gun is amazing, it's huge, it's exactly what it should look like. Two things, again, if you want to, you can fold it up and you can store it away via these tabs here. There's some tabs slots on the back of this. Now I do also believe that this, I think in the original MP44 there was a voice box or speaker inside there. I can completely confirm there is nothing in there at all at the moment. Well, not at the moment, and then nothing that is going to fit inside there. So I think maybe that's another reason why this particular version is so much cheaper. Now I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can do that if you wanted to. Let's just straighten the gun out. Let's bring this down, and there you've got your, I suppose, again, industry standard joints, or attachments rather, attachments for the Masterpiece hands, accessories, etc. So realistically this should, yeah, there you go, without even closing the fingers. But look what you can do, because you can leave the one finger out, you can make it look like he is going to pull the trigger, which again is brilliant. And I'm not going to do this guy any justice with my posing, because I'm useless at sort of posing figures, but I'm going to show you that his gun looks awesome with it. And you can of course attach the huge, oh typical, you can attach the blast effect to it as well, which also will look great. Right, let's bring in some other figures just to give you an idea of the size. So this one's a Voyager Prime, which again we've seen loads of. one last time, there is your G1 toy Optimus Prime. Let's move this out of the way. It's reflecting and taking up some of it. I'm going to very quickly as well just put him at the background. Just, is he even going to fit on? No, he doesn't fit on. This guy's loads of die cast as well. He's huge. It's a shame that they didn't keep him all that size, to be honest. Right, are you going to be able to see him? Let's just drop this down a second. That's New Age's Optimus. That is, of course, the core class from Kingdom, and a couple of others, to be honest. Oh, yes, I'm smashing everything up. Let's bring in another figure. Wheeljacks there. Hound. So these are obviously the deluxe figures, which do not scale with him. This is just to give you an idea of his size, and he's obviously no good. You can't see his head, so let's come all the way back up. And I'm just going to finish off, to be honest, by saying that, yeah, really impressed. Really pleased to actually have what is, of course, an MP44 in hand, even though it is, as I say, a different deco. That has popped out again, you can see, but luckily enough, it does just all clip together quite simply. Yeah, great figure. Ridiculous transformation process. You're gonna have to bear with me while I do upload, that's better, the tutorial, because I want to do it, because it's time consuming, and hopefully I can work out a way to get it a little bit quicker. Nothing more to say about this guy. So impressed with it, so impressed with it. Great figure, and as I say, it's going to go up on my shelf. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, guys. Take care.